Learn how to use the legacy remove child method to delete an HTML element by targeting it through its parent container. Here's my boilerplate code, and we are going to be looking at the legacy method to delete an HTML element and how you can target it through its parent container. That is basically the example we're going to be looking at for this lesson. So, in order to make this example, I need two elements inside my HTML part in order to show when one of the elements is being deleted. So I can give this one an idea of, say, P1. This is a paragraph. This can be P1. And to make another one, I'll call it this is another paragraph. So now I can move inside my script section to see how we can use the legacy method of RemoveChild to remove one of the elements that I just added in my HTML section. So the first thing I need to do is that I need a way to locate the outer parent container. Locate the outer parent container. What is that parent container? I'm referring to this, which corresponds to this code output box in my code. So I'll go ahead and make a variable and call it const parent, and then I'll use document.element by ID to target the parent container in my code. So now that I've done that, it's time for me to locate the target element that needs to be deleted. And that target element is going to be our child element. So I'll make a variable and call it child. And I can use document.getElement as well to select the child that I want to delete. So the child necessarily doesn't have to be the first paragraph. It could be the P2 as well, or any other thing, depending on how many elements that you have readily available in your HTML. And now that I've done this, so it is now time for me to command the parent to drop the target child from the top tree. Command the parent to drop the child from the done tree. And how do I do this? Well, just need to call this variable parent and the method dot remove child. And then pass in the child that needs to be removed. And that child here is our P1. You can see that immediately I did that, one of the paragraphs was automatically removed on the screen. So this example demonstrated to us how JavaScript grabs a handle on the wrapper division box, which is the parent container, identifies the first inner paragraph, which is our child element, and command the outer container to drop it. So this method of remove child itself, think of it like a no school for checking out of a building, instead of element just deleting itself, which the modern browser does with the remove method. Legacy environment make you find the parent room container first, just as we did here. Then point directly at the child inside it and explicitly command the parent to reject that child from the layout, as you can see in this example. So we were able to use this path to target the parent component so that JavaScript knows which structural branch of the web page is holding the item. Moving on, then we use this to locate the exact target paragraph entities that needs to be removed from the page layout. And finally, we use this method to execute the physical destruction process and the parent element unhook the child node pointer from its internal structure list, thereby causing it to instantly disappear from the screen. So this is a legacy way of removing elements from JavaScript, but the modern JavaScript make use of remove method without the process of going through the parent container in order to target the child or select a child. Here are a few key takeaways from this lesson. Number one, Remove child method require a direct parent to child structural link to complete a deletion transaction. As you can see that without this parent, you cannot pass this directly and delete it, unlike the remove method that is used in the modern JavaScript. Number two is that the method must be executed using the syntax format of parent.method and then passed in the child that needs to be deleted. And finally, the approach serves as a primary legacy fallback tool for old systems that lack support for the modern direct remove method command. So this is a legacy way of removing elements from your DOM tree in JavaScript. But this legacy method is now being replaced with a remove method that can remove directly without having to interact or without having to depend on the parent container.